Thanks for coming today. This webinar is going to be an exciting one. We're going to be talking a lot about the new features that have come to Hike in the last few months and go through them within Hike itself and step by step. And then I'll also hint about a few upcoming features that are coming soon. So if you do have any questions throughout the presentation, do put that in the chat, and then I'll go through them at the end of the session and answer as many as I can. So let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is some of the new AI-enabled features within Hike. So as many of you know, we use ChatGPT as the backend for our AI systems, and we integrate it in quite intelligent ways throughout certain features of our product to make sure that it's much easier for people to find what they need. So we'll go through a few of them to start with under the strategy section, and you go to the keyword research. And this is where we start. So a lot of you who use Hike regularly have probably found this new feature already, but I just want to make it make you aware of this. So basically, if you click on suggested keywords right here, this is actually AI generated and gives you some suggested keywords to go off of and get started. So these are based on your business category that you selected when onboarding onto Hike, and also based on the keyword ideas that you've added manually. So it generates these, and if they're relevant enough for you, you can add them, click on it, and you can add them in here as a filter, and then see what else, the related keywords that come up. So this is really useful if you're not quite sure what kind of keywords to add in here. It just makes it much easier to get started. So yeah, if you don't know, if you want more information, you can just hover over and just read that little snippet, but it's right here and you can just show more. And basically this is generated also based on the business category. So it's not necessarily specific to your exact website. It's the business categories that you select. So it might be a bit general, but it still gives you some really good insights here. So you can go through that. So that's the first area where the AI is enabled. The next one is under the next part is under right here, which is the chosen keyword. So once you've selected the keywords that are relevant for your business, you click on the bottom here, which is chosen keywords, and you'll see all the ones like as a short list. So you'll see this new column here, which is the review. And what it does is the AI will look at the keyword, compare it to your business category, your website, and it will say, is this good or is it not? It might not be a good choice. So it kind of gives you an idea whether it's on point or off point. So if you hover over, it'll give you a little snippet here. For example, in this case, website SEO is a good keyword for marketing agency, such as Hike, for example. So it matches our category. It might not match another business, but basically it will align it based on that. Or let's say here, I just added a random one just to show you the functionality. So golf scores, obviously this has nothing to do with what Hike does, but it already flagged it up. So it might not be a good idea for a software company, etc. So a lot of this might be apparent, but when you have lots of keywords and you just want to like have the AI do that thinking for you, you just review the review column and you can just remove those that aren't relevant in here. So another really great feature that makes it much easier for you to do. The next section is under a strategy and keyword sitemap. So once you have selected the keywords that you want, the next step of the process is obviously assigning keywords to the pages on your website. And you can just click on add keyword. Right here, you can select from the keywords that you have, and then it adds it. Now what Hike will do is it will review that keyword or those keywords and compare it to that actual page. If you see this icon right here, it means that it hasn't been reviewed yet. And it basically you need to click on press review sitemap at the bottom for it to refresh that. For the ones that have, it will either show a check mark, like, yes, that's the right match, or a question mark, for example, might not be a good one. And that will give you an idea whether the keywords that you've selected are or aren't a good match for that page. So that's a really useful feature that, again, takes thinking out of it and makes it much simpler for you to do your SEO. One thing I want to make you aware of is the keyword tracking. You might have spotted it as we go through here. When you track keywords, the number of cap went up to 100 from 50. So that's another new feature that we added, just expanding the number of keywords that our customers can track, which is really useful. So another AI thing that we snuck in there for everyone is the content strategy, the content wizard. So if you go to content strategy right here, and you selected the ideas you wanted, you go to your scrap board right here. And what's new here is that we used to use an older legacy version of ChatGPT. Now we've updated it to the latest ChatGPT 4. And that makes the copy a lot more comprehensive, a lot more accurate, and valuable. And another feature that we added is that you can now add keywords in there. So if you want to sprinkle in some keywords within that copy, ChatGPT will do that for you. I'll show you how to do that just right now. So let's say you added some of these content ideas, these blog post ideas that you want. You go to click on edit content, and you add the keywords that you want. So let's say I added these ones: content marketing, content agency London, SEO London, for example. You can remove one if you want. You can add another one, however you want. So let's say we want these two in here. You click on save title, and then you just click on content wizard, and you generate your content from there. And then it will basically come up, and you can see it in there once you've written it. And then that's where the keywords will be within. So it's quite simple, quite easy to do. And yeah, it'll make it really easy. So let's say we run one of these. It will take slightly longer than the previous version. For those of you that have used ChatGPT before, you know that the newer models are quite a lot slower, but more accurate. So that's why the bar here might take like a minute or so, no longer than that, to generate the copy. And it will come up with 600 words of unique copy. And you can use that as a starting point, a structure for your blog post. So make sure, though, it's always good to review it, make it in your businesses, your brand's tone of voice, add additional examples, expand upon it. It's always important to do that, not just for for your users and your audience, but to make it even more unique than it is. So that's really important to do. Okay, so just generating right now, should finish in the next minute or so. Sometimes it takes slightly bit longer, but yeah. Also, when you do this, it's important to add content like images, or if you have any videos or whatnot, to make it easy to use. So here we have the written blog article. It's a pretty decent starting point. And let me show you. I'm going to do Command F here, and I'm going to look for SEO London. Okay, so no, sorry. So that one, let me see, London. Okay, so it didn't do it in this one. Some of them it does, some of them it doesn't. So forgive me if it doesn't show it on this example. But what it does is it inserts the keywords within the specific thing. So you'll see it. Just search it. If it doesn't, you can just rerun it. So that's the AI in the content wizard. The next feature is the knowledge base. So we've updated that and expanded upon it quite a bit, actually. So you might have seen it before, but we've added a lot more articles. We've updated the articles, and you can basically go through all of these and basically read up if you don't know anything about these specific subjects. You can also search. So if I'm thinking about, content, I can search something about content. And there's just a lot more topics and questions that you can get answered. So yeah, we've updated and expanded the knowledge base. So if you have any questions, just go in there and search it out. So that's going to help a lot answer. If you don't find anything in here, that's fine. You can always go to our support and get the right questions and support there. Okay, so next thing. So as many of you already know, we are switching off some of the support side of things in terms of the done for you services side. But what we have now is a Hike approved partner portal. So if you want to continue getting your actions actioned and completed, or additional SEO help for service base, you can now go into this portal right here. For many of you, it would be under the help center if it's enabled there, so it should be right there. And then you would go to this page and you just basically fill out this form. So I'm just going to quickly do this so you can see. It just takes 2 minutes. So what services are you looking for? Let's say all SEO services, or if it's just one of these, let's say you just want on page. And then what are you looking to achieve? Specific goals, so like ranking for keywords, and your monthly budget. Let's say it's a medium one, okay? And the country that you're based in. So let's do that. And then are you looking for any of these additional services? So maybe you also have a need for social media marketing and paid advertising, for example. So you can do that. And anything else that you want to know. So my site has 300 plus pages, for example. And then you would enter your contact details in here and then submit it. And then one of our team members will get back to you and match you with 2 to 3 matching agencies that would fit your requirements. And then you can go from there and basically, speak to them and connect with them and get help. So that's a new feature as well, since we're moving away from the fulfilled services, and more on the software side. Now, I want to show you another thing. Now, with Google Analytics now having transitioned to version 4, our report builder, I want to go through some of the new GA4 metrics and dimensions. So if we go to your report builder right here, and let's say we want to create a new report. So you can either go to templates to use an existing templates, or you can just create a report from scratch. So let's do a demo one, demo report. You can select the paper size, what orientation, and the font, date format, and change some other customizing things if you want to align it to your brand. Some things are not optional, so we need to add a color. I'll just pick a random one. Okay, and then click on create, and then we can go to the report. So let's go through an example for creating a GA4 widget. So if I click on here, you'll see that now it's Google Analytics 4 if you've connected your new property to it. If you're still on the legacy version, you won't see it. You won't be able to actually access the old version anymore through the report builder here. But I'm going to go through the create a custom widget part. So let's do that. You might name it after you create it because you don't know yet what you're doing in terms of what you want. So we're going to go through some of the metrics available. So we have active users, so the number of active users on your site, the number of conversions, engaged sessions. So these are sessions that have had some sort of event, some sort of actions, or have also been on the site a certain amount of time. You have the engagement rate in terms of percentage, the event count, how many events happened. So this is slightly different than the old GA3. So events combine page views with scrolls, specific actions like watching a video. There's so many different events that GA4 combines into the events metric. So that's what this one is. And you'll see when you break that down, you'll see the standard events like a page view, for example. New users. So these are users that have just came to your site for the first time. Page views per session, page views per user, number of sessions per user, and user engagement. So these are all the ones that we've integrated from GA4 and you can use. So let's say we want number of new users, and then the standard widget types that we have available: line graph, line chart, area chart, pie chart, donut chart, bar. So this is vertical bar and this is horizontal bar, radar, chart, and stat boxes if you just want that number there, and a table if you want to compare different metrics across different dimensions and whatnot. So you can select that. And then if you want the date range, use the report date range, or if you want a custom fixed one, you can change it here. So that's those settings. Now here's where you can go a bit more in detail in the Google Analytics settings. So let's say you selected new users. Now you can split it by a dimension. So if it's by the browser that they used, country, channel group, device, event name. A lot of these are familiar if you've used GA3 before or GA4. So you can split by a variety of different dimensions here, depending on what you want to see. So let's say we want to see it by country, for example, if you target outside multiple countries. And then you can also limit results to a certain number. So let's say the top 10 or the top 5 or however many you want. You can sort by value or the dimension name, and whether it's descending or ascending. And then finally, this is where you can filter it even more. So let's say you want to filter this data by the session source or the default channel grouping. So let's say you want it only like social media traffic or only organic traffic or something like this. So you can do that. And then you can type in like the exact match. You can drop down. So let's say organic search, you just want to see from your organic SEO, or you have some paid ads running and you want to do it by that, or email or whatever, you can filter it by there. So that allows you to get that exact data that you want from GA4. And then finally, the visual side of things, you can tweak that from here. So you can use report colors, or you can make it your own. You can show or hide legend, customize these things. There's a lot of different things you can customize for the chart. And then when you're done, you just click on create. And this hasn't been linked up, so don't worry. It will show the actual thing there. So let me just see if we can do like page view, new users, line chart, and just get rid of some of these things. Here we go. There we go. So you'll see the line chart, and then you can just click through that and resize it if you want, reposition it. Really easy. So yeah, GA4 has some slightly different metrics and slightly different dimensions. So that's what I wanted to show you guys today, in case you're going in there and wondering, oh, why is it slightly different from the previous one if you haven't used GA4 yet. So that's that. I might as well go into some of the upcoming features. And in here, we'll have actually the development team is currently making some predefined Google Analytics for widgets. So there's a few here, but we're adding to these. So you've probably seen, like, you can just drag some of these in. You don't have to create them from scratch. But there'll be a few more that will be available for you to start using. So you can just go in here, and that's the ETA for that is a few weeks from now, about 2-3 weeks, something like that. And then we'll send out an announcement as well, and everyone can go in and then go through that and pick out some extra widgets to use. So definitely check back in a few weeks, and there'll be some new created widgets in there. And one final thing for and this won't be, I don't have a preview right here, but another feature coming soon, and this is more from a content point of view. I've been working on the Learn SEO hub, and this is basically really in-depth articles about various aspects of SEO, and this will be on the main website. So once it launches, there'll be about 30 plus pages. In total, there's about 55,000 plus words of content in total across 30 plus pages that go really deep into various SEO aspects. So if you want to really learn more about SEO, or have a specific, let's say it's backlinks, or let's say it's keyword research, chances are there'll be an article there for you, and you can go into depth and learn more about that. So yeah, I just want to let you know about all of that. Cool. So that was a quick update. Now I'm going to go through some of the chat questions and see if I can answer some of these for you. Okay. So Chris Davidson, if ChatGPT, then nothing new since 2021. Yes, that's right. So these keyword recommendations, these are based on basically related topics or keyword phrases that match or are related to your business sector that you've put in there. So yeah, it's not going to be necessarily the exact keyword data. It's seed keywords that you can start with, and then from those seed keywords, Hike will use up-to-date, the latest data for the keyword research, and then you can see what matches that. Okay, so that basically works. AI review of sitemap, is this helpful, useful if the page is not written yet? Yeah, so that's a good point. So it's more for pages that you already have and you have content on there. For pages that are completely blank, maybe you just created the page and there's no content on there, then no, just ignore that, and just use your own judgment whether that keyword is relevant or not. Do we know if, so Cassie, do we know if there's much truth to the rumor that Google has AI detectors and will rank content generated by AI lower? No, so basically from my knowledge of Google's updates and what it's been saying about AI, it doesn't have an issue with AI content as long as it's useful, unique, relevant, and helpful to the user's query. Who knows, maybe they have a bias in their algorithm. Nobody will know until they test it on a mass scale. But basically, yeah, it's okay to use AI content, but I always say, start with AI content, but then modify it and make it yours. So you can cut down on the amount of work and the amount of time that takes you to create great content. Use it as an outline generator, use it as a starting point, and then maybe add 20-30% more of your own stuff and tweak it. And that's where you can save a lot of time. Okay. I think the link to knowledge base is outdated in the actual Hike. Okay, let me, I'll flag that up to the support team and developers. Thanks for letting me know. Okay. This is their official statement. Thanks for the link. Great, so everyone can click on that. Are there any articles that talk about assigning keywords to pages when creating a new site? So in the new articles, yeah, so there'll be some about keyword mapping, and what I can say now, if you want some tips right now about that, is basically think about your website as like a knowledge base with all these different pages talking about different topics. You want one unique topic per page. So not just having like a keyword and then another page has a very similar keyword. You want to have them different enough so that each page is talking about one main focus instead of having a page with, let's say, 3 or 4 focuses. That might be a page that you might split up into smaller pages underneath. So you want to make sure that when people come to your site and they search it and they find your site, that page that they looked for using that keyword phrase has to do with it. So it's relevant. And that's why we want to focus on that one keyword, one topic per page idea. That doesn't mean you can't use secondary keywords. You can sprinkle those as long as those secondary keywords relate really closely to the main keyword. It'll just give you a bit more exposure when it comes to ranking as well. Yeah, so Adam, that's right. Basically, yeah, rewarding high quality content, however it is produced. That's right, exactly. Because some questions are better answered by AI. From my experience, like there's some really informative questions that I found that ChatGPT or other AI software answers way better than a human can, whereas others, it might require a human to add on to it or modify a bit. So always think about it in the quality standards. Like if someone landed on this, do they get value out of it? Is it helpful? Do they find a solution to their problem? And if the answer is yes, then it doesn't really matter if it's AI or human. The other aspects you're going to need to consider, like I said, is like tone of voice of your brand, examples that are relevant in the industry, things like that. That's what makes it a bit more tailored to your business and your brand. Cool. Anybody else have any other questions about current features, current new features, upcoming ones, anything like that? Just keep an eye on the chat for a minute, and then we can go from there. No? Okay, well, if there isn't, that's all right. I really hope that you found this webinar helpful and that you'll start using these new features. And if you do have any suggestions, if you're going through and using them, do feel free to email our support team with those suggestions. Our developers are always looking out for these, and we'll keep that in mind for future releases. So do that. Fantastic. Thanks for your time, everyone. And I'll upload the recording and send it out to everyone who was on here, and we'll go from there. All right. Take care.